Good Tuesday morning, September 1st, 2020. This is Guy McPherson of GuyMcPherson.com, otherwise known as Nature Bats Last. So here we are, the first day of September. Given what the previous 8 months have shown us, I can only imagine the horrors that await this month, September 2020. So here we are diving in, and I have a batch of apparently good news, although I might have to check my dictionary on that. So here we are in Central Florida, a few minutes before the market opens, and I'm going to read a few headlines, and by that time the market will have opened and will indicate where the stock markets are headed in the United States. Here we go. First though, I received this question from an online friend. With all your contacts and insider information, do you know of a site that compiles this information? He's talking specifically about abrupt climate change chronologically and makes it available online with clippings and videos. It feels like this information is being deliberately withheld or underplayed by the media. Yes, this information is being deliberately withheld or underplayed by the media. If there were anybody actually if there were a site that was compiling this information and making it available, information about abrupt, irreversible climate change, and making it available to the public, that person would disappear shortly thereafter. You can't even imagine what I've put up with. I have 4 volunteer IT people who are really good, including CTOs, Chief Technical Officers of companies, who are helping me keep my blog going, GuyMcPherson.com. And it's still a day-to-day proposition. Almost every day it comes under attack from some sort of hacker trying to bring it down. So I am certain that if an individual were to present the kind of information that is being presented at Nature Bats Last, that person would suddenly enjoy not so much privilege as they enjoyed before, to say the least. Okay, it feels like this information is being deliberately withheld or underplayed by the media. That's how he finished his comment. And my response, the corporate media is closely connected to the corporate governments. They will not admit to existential threats if there's no money in it. And a quick online search will indicate to you that for more than 100 years, the US government and the US mainstream corporate media have been largely connected at the hip. So yeah, I'm not being a crazy conspiracy theorist, paranoid person by pointing out this fact. All right, so then, most of these headlines are from after the close yesterday from the Washington Post. Under the category Breaking News, U.S. stocks wrap up a monster month with S&P 500 posting its best August in more than 30 years. Barron's follows up with this headline, the stock market is having a fantastic August. Here's what history says happens next. According to Barron's, and any quick search of the literature that you can do yourself, sure enough, what this means after a monster August is a decline in the stock markets in September. And Barron's goes on to describe why this is good news. This slight decline is something of a correction for the markets. Well, if a slight decline is good news, then a monster decline must be amazing news. So, what's happening now? Again, from a few days ago, this from Bloomberg Markets and Finance on YouTube. A Bloomberg special report, The Real Estate Reckoning. Yes, the COVID-19 pandemic has pummeled commercial real estate. That's the lead. And apparently, this is good news. And there's more. From CNN Business, airlines desperately need people to fly. Well, yeah, that's sort of the point of having a commercial airline, is to get people to fly. From CNN Business, let me back up before I start editorializing. CNN Business, airlines desperately need people to fly. That's why the top 3 U.S. carriers are dumping change fees. As I pointed out in yesterday's video, United had already dumped change fees. American and Delta followed suit. Southwest never had change ticket fees. So now all 4 major carriers in the United States have eliminated change fees. So you can change the date or the time that you're going to fly on no notice whatsoever, basically, for no change fee. Just the increase or decrease in the ticket will apply. All right. More good news, according to Yahoo Finance, workers will see smaller paychecks next year under Trump's payroll tax deferral. So there you go. The stock market going down is good news, and therefore smaller paychecks must be good news, right? Only makes sense. From the Wall Street Journal, how Trump sowed COVID supply chaos. Quote, try getting it yourselves, end quote. That's what he said to several states who were seeking equipment to deal with the COVID crisis. So that must be good news as well. From Yahoo, after Trump calls him, quote, a fool, end quote, Portland mayor says, support us or stay out of the way. More good news. The states and the federal governments are fighting like cats and dogs that never got along. Not the good cats and the good dogs that cuddle up and that you see all their pictures on Facebook and other social media. More good news. The mayors and the governors and the president and his staff are at each other's throats with all kinds of absurd threats. If you want good news, this must be the best of all. From Science Alert at sciencealert.com, ice sheet melting is perfectly in line with our worst case scenario, scientists warn. What could be better than that? Sea level rise, loss of habitat for Homo sapiens, loss of habitat for all animals on Earth, for all plants on Earth, for all organisms on Earth. If you think a minor stock market decline is good news, then surely everything else I presented must be good news as well. Or maybe I need a dictionary to look up the definition of good. I know. Sometimes I'm speechless too. This is not one of those times.